did say day 3 would be a bracket buster. It was not in the way I was expecting, but wow. Hello, everybody. Well, I'm just a simple man, and my name is Noah Foster, and welcome once again to another Simple Take as I continue to bring you my day-by-day thoughts, outlooks, and coverage of the New Japan Cup. We have now concluded day 3, which was again the pinnacle day, in my opinion, of the opening rounds of the New Japan Cup, and I'm sure it was a bracket buster for many of you. With that being said, let's go ahead and get right into the night's action. Let me first add, of course, that of course it was in Japanese commentary to begin with, but again, that connection we have as professional wrestling fans, language should not be a barrier. I almost feel like with people, the way people are, and you look at people, should not be a barrier to them, nor how the wrestling industry should be shaped. Maybe I'll talk more about that at the end of the video, but I digress. Speak out, folks. With that being said, this night took place in Corrigan Hall. You all know that venue very well, I'm sure, because we've seen many a times people's faces ran into a sign or up in the stands. And it was a nice change of venue. It felt more lively to me. Maybe it was just the lighting. Of course, Japanese commentary included Milano, and I really need to learn the other correspondents' names. Boy, I love their energy. They all do a great job. I love how interchangeable the Japanese commentary is. Anyway, they give the rundown of the card. We have an opening tag match versus the middle of the card, and the rest is all New Japan Cup matches, which of course will have a disinfectant clean break during the middle of the show. Let's go ahead and discuss them. So our first match was our specials tag, as I said. It was a 4-on-4 8-man tag match where Blue Justice Yuji Nagata took on with his partners, the Young Lions, in Yuyamura, Gabriel Kidd, and Yoji Shuji. They took on Suzuki-gun, Kasaninare, my faction. The King Minoru Suzuki coming out literally to the Kasaninare theme. I love that, though I like the Ichiban theme too. And his partners included Yoshinobu Kamaru, El Desperado, and Dukai. And this match kind of broke down the way you would think, considering it's a Suzuki-gun match right before the bell. All bedlam gets, taken loose. But I was also thinking about, hey, this might be the opportunity. Yuyamura might finally be able to get his death wish and go up against the King. Not quite, it was him. We kick off the match with Yota Tsuji and Minoru Suzuki, and they're both exchanging with each other. At one point, Minoru Suzuki literally KOing the Young Lion. Damn. And then we have a ridiculous slap to try and wake him back in reality. Again, the King. He throws no punches, no pun intended. Anyways, the match continued. The The Heel Master, he came into play. By the way, folks, I'm recording this 10:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday morning, June 22nd. So I've been up since 5:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time this morning, so I'm a little tired. Apologies. Anyway, as the match continued, though, the Young Lion, he finally gets the better of the Heel Master with a suplex, and then he finally gets the hot tag into Blue Justice. We have Nagata and Suzuki renewing old rivalries, it seems. And basically, these two, they well into each other for a good part of this match. Yuyamura finally comes in. It's him and El Desperado coming off that incredible match with Tomohiro Ishii. Both men, they exchanged a little bit. It looked like El Desperado was trying to go for, his stretch muffler at one point. But, of course, spear by Yuyamura, which is a staple of the Young Lions. It allows him to get the better of El Desperado. Seems like he's going to get the best of him as he has him in submission hold. But eventually, Suzuki-gun, they all come into play. They break it up. Things break down again. And we literally find Desperado gets the better of the Young Lion in Yuyamura and face plants him with Dos Tagadoro. I probably screwed up that name. Apologies, folks. And now Desperado gets the win for the Suzuki-gun faction. 1, 2, 3. So what's interesting about this is we know Blue Justice, he's moving on to New Japan Cup. Minoru Suzuki, he's out. Dukai, not involved at all, but of course supporting his boys in Suzuki-gun. As of course later on we have Taiji, which of course Taiji brought in Dukai. We know that the heel master, Yoshinobu Kamaru, he has a match coming with Taiji Samori, and the odds go into his favor. And then of course we have El Desperado, who had an incredible classic match of the year candidate, some would say, with Tomohiro Ishii, and I'm sure he's not done with the Stone Pit Bull and can't wait to go at him again. But the Young Lions, they just want so much, it seems. And it feels like Yota Tsuji, he took this loss the hardest. And I feel like maybe that's because maybe there's more pressure on him, because he does have, as my good friend Cindy G put it, please follow her at simplyc_ok. He was wearing a red underneath his knee pad, so I guess that really shows how far he is coming in his training. But again, this win, it only seems like he's going to stay in the spot he is now. So again, he wears his heart on his kneecap at this point. And I'm sure that Katsuyori Shibata will have much more harder training coming for him in the near future. But again, Yota Tsuji, constantly progressing Yuya Mary. He's trying. He's trying. I feel like it could be a breakout. He could be a good candidate to win this year's Young's Lion Cup, honestly. But we'll have to wait and see. So we got our specialist tag out of the way immediately. We go right into New Japan Cup action. This is what I love about New Japan Pro Wrestling. No two matches ever feel the same. We had 4 different types of matches tonight, each with their own type of story, and really, the matches could have gone either way. Our first match was more so a technical mental mind game, as we had the coach, Rizusuke Taguchi, taking on Cold Skull Sanada, who very seemed like he was in a different demeanor today, okay? I don't know about you, but versus previous matches, he really felt, and again, the guy, he kind of wears his emotions, on his sleeve too, and doesn't really show them, but it's just something about the way he came out today felt different. And it did show here during this match. A lot of good feeling out across the very beginning. Both men at stalemate, both men trying to share the fist bump. Taguchi trying to get the best of Sanada first, but Sanada saw it, and both men, they respected that. And then Sanada goes for the fist bump, and both men try to get the best of each other, each grabbing a leg, and they both let it down. But Taguchi, he maintains Sanada's legs, and apparently he is not impressing Milano, because he tries to go for a Paradise Lock. Maybe this was just more of a mental game, too, as Sanada knew he was not locked, but still, he let this happen to him, because again, Sanada, he could really get full of himself, and really, I think that could be his downfall at times, as we've seen. Anyway, Paradise Lock, bad. Nice try, Taguchi. Sanada showed him how it's done, though, because immediately following that, Paradise Lock by Sanada, Milano thumbs up, and of course, he has the key. He releases him with a kick. As the match continues, there is multiple inverted atomic drops to the man that is the King of Fun style with his funky weapon. And it really looked like he couldn't get the better of Sanada here. Sanada controlling the pace, controlling the coach. It wasn't until the third one, however, that the coach, he got better and outsmarted Sanada. The funky weapon comes into play a couple of times, misses initially, but then it comes into play after a roll through into a drop kick with 1, 2, and 3 funky weapon hip strikes to Sanada. As the match progressed, though, both men, they were really jogging for position, but Sanada, he did latch on the skull end for a moment. However, it got immediately countered by Taguchi into a suplex. As the match continued, Taguchi, he goes high risk with corner cross body, gets the better of Sanada, and really looked like he had the match in his favor as he goes for the ankle lock and even sits down at one point. But Sanada, being very intuitive, he rolls through it into the skull end. But Taguchi, he continues to roll through it and spins him out, basically. Because Sanada gets the better of Taguchi after he counters it again. It was like, ankle lock, it's called skull end. Ankle lock, skull end. And then ankle lock, sit down ankle lock. The coach with so many pinnacle falls during this, too. And it looked like Sanada was going to tap at one point. You heard the company go, oh! But anyway, skull end spins it out, tries to him down. Taguchi with the roll up, later traps the legs, 2.5. Both of these men literally jockeying pinfall for pinfall for pinfall. This match could have gone either way. Both of these men were very well matched with each other. Kind of reminds me of the classics that Jonathan Gresham had with the coach. But again, the coach, he just, always seems to make people better. And of course, he's about the company. Anyway, as the match goes towards the end, we have pinfall counter exchanges, but it wasn't until, similar to, I believe, how Zack Sabre Jr. beat him at Wrestle Kingdom, double leg Nelson European clutch gives Sanada the win, and he moves on to the next round in the New Japan Cup. Afterwards, of course, the coach, he does show his respect to Sanada, where Sanada leaves the shirt, and the coach puts it on, points at him. Very good match by the coach, very interesting opener, and Sanada starts his journey towards maybe going after Tetsuya Naito on both pieces of gold at Dominion. And I'm very glad about that because, again, folks, Sanada, he is my pick to win the whole thing. There, I said it. Whew, this was quite a back-and-forth match, though. But you talk about changing the pace and raising the bar, as one of my friends put it. This next match did that and so much more. Over a year in the making from Best Super Juniors 26 opener, it is Roppongi 3K's Sho versus the never overweight champion, Shingo Takagi, Rampage Dragon. Clearly, I'm sure was a favorite in many, especially when he said that he's going to win this when he refused to do the fist bump with Hiromu and Naito. This match, just smash mouth brawling. Shingo keeps saying that, Sho, you think you can beat me, but you haven't shown me anything as far as change over the last year. Well, Sho showed him change and much more. Initial out of the gate, Sho trying to maintain control. Forearm smashes galore. And then both these men exchange kicks, only for Shingo to finally get the better of Sho with a DDT. And Shingo maintains control for a good portion of this match at this point. It wasn't until Sho gets the better of him with a forearm shot and then tries to go for a spear. But there's something you don't see often, folks. Spear stopped dead in its tracks. That's amazing by Shingo Takagi into a vertical drop brainbuster. And then, as Shingo has control, spear out of nowhere by Sho. As the match continues, excuse me, Shingo with his explosive, you know what I'm talking about, free move follow-up after the two jockeyed for position again with forearm smash. So many forearm smashes, my God. That pop-up punch, forearm strike, and that ridiculous lariat laid Sho out. Period. But Sho, he tries to get the better Shingo Takagi now from not so much a brawl game, but a mat game, as he tries to control the left arm. I think at one point going for a wrist lock, or maybe similar to Kimura. Megan, she knows the UFC. She probably can correct me on this. I don't know if she watches. Hello, Megan. Please follow her at Chiba Megan. Anyway, as the match continues, both men, Shingo fights out of the attempted submission hold, and they both collide with each other in the middle of the ring countless times. As both men try and get up and garner some control here, there was a suplex exchange among the two, where again they suplex and they literally get right back up and go right after each other. Shingo Takagi gets the better of Sho though and pulls off Nostradamus and gets a near fall. Not enough. As we move on from here, we go high risk now, where they are in the corner and literally jockeying for position with headbutts. Nobody wins in a headbutt. I don't care where you are or how you wrestle. Ouch. As this did though give some control to Sho, as he did knock, get control of the corner. Tries to go for a sunset powerbomb, but Shingo too strong. However, Shingo does hold on, and Sho has him up. You think he's going to powerbomb him? Not really, as that is a lot of pressure on your knees. He drops him on the knees for a ridiculous backbreaker and pulls off his own pumping bomber. And I thought that was it. No, kick out at one. Shingo's not going to let you freaking beat him with his own move. Both men once again exchanging ridiculous shots and yelling galore. Thank you, Chris Charlton. I almost got the name wrong. Anyway, as the match continues, literally another headbutt finally made in Japan. I thought Shingo had him, not quite, as he does kick out. And then a pumping bomber again, but this time by Shingo Takagi. You thought that this was it? No. Sho kicks out. To think this is what beat him at Best Super Juniors. They raise the bar. The match freaking continues. Shingo is just beside himself, and Sho refuses to quit. As Shingo tries to sum up for another pumping bomber, Sho gets the better of him with a ridiculous pile driver and finally gets the better of Shingo to wrap the arms up after previously trying this match and could not lock him in place, lifts him up, and package pile drives him into his finish with a shock arrow. And ladies and gentlemen, I think it's an upset. Some kind of called it, but I said it was a year over year in the making, and it happened. Sho pinned Shingo Takagi and is moving on in his debut in the New Japan Cup, and Shingo is eliminated. So like I said, I think we clearly have set up now our never openweight title match at Dominion. It's got to be Shingo Takagi versus Sho. I can only imagine what the post-match comments were following this all physical, violent, smash mouth brawl. But an absolutely amazing match, and probably, I would say definitely, the biggest win in Sho's career. And now Sho, he knows what he has coming to him. But we'll talk more about that in a little bit. With that being said, we move on then to, of course, intermission. As, of course, they have a clean disinfectant break that tells about the action so far and the action to come, as the later card will show us Kota Ibushi versus Zack Sabre Jr. and Taiji versus the ace of New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Of course, we get another vignette for Way to the Grandmaster. And a couple of people, they have shared their thoughts about who this could be. Again, my good friend Cindy G, she told me it could be Mike Bailey. Few people have told me, no, it's not Mike Bailey. It could be freaking, what is his name? I'm probably going to screw this name up. Kagama, I cannot remember the name for the life of me. Sorry about that, folks. Kawado, there it is. I had to look up my notes. I'm working off a 2-monitor display here. I don't know, though. It just feels like, for me, it's going to be someone from America. It's probably going to be Mike Bailey. And it just seems like that's right at this point. And stay tuned. I'll have more information for you on Mike Billy come the next Assemble Take as we continue our opening rounds. Because clearly, more is going to show here during the New Japan Cup about this guy. And it would not surprise me if he shocks us and breaks in somehow during the New Japan Cup special tag match. Maybe the finale. Maybe Dominion. Maybe Shibata will bring him in. Think about that. Anyway, as we go into our disinfected break, it allows us time to breathe and think about it. We go back in with a 5-bell welcome back, and we get our next match, as it is a constant classic. And you think about the fact that Zack Sabre Jr. has gotten the better of Kota Ibushi in the last 2 New Japan Cups in a row. Not to mention, Kota Ibushi and Zack Sabre Jr. have faced each other in countless singles classics. I highly recommend you go check them out. Not just New Japan Cup, but G1 as well, and so much more. Kota Ibushi took on Zack Sabre Jr. in a one-on-one bout. And initially, it was what you would expect, a filling out process among 2 of the most classic base wrestlers you could find. One with the infinite mat game, the other one that kicks like a freaking baseball bat is his legs. Filling out process, and one of those subtle kicks, they get the better of Zack Sabre Jr., and he has him down for a side headlock. Again, Zack Sabre Jr. being slowed down by Kota Ibushi. A very smart move in Kota's opinion, in my opinion, for Kota. Anyway, as the match progressed, though, there was another kick, and then, unfortunately, you can't give Zack Sabre Jr. a moment. He picks Kota Ibushi's leg and uses a submission hold, literally twisting the leg to the point he was using the ropes. By the way, as I previously discussed, this match was definitely more Zack Sabre Jr.'s favorite because at one point it seemed like Kota Ibushi was trying to get hype with the crowd. Asked Zack Sabre Jr., so they put it, "There's nobody here, dickhead." Zack Sabre Jr., a man that is never too short on breath or insults. Go figure. Anyway, as the match continues, there was a ridiculous heart-stopper lariat, I like to call, from freaking Kota Ibushi that dropped Zack Sabre Jr. where he stood. Damn. Anyway, the freaking Vegan Hydra, he does get the better of Kota Ibushi as he picks the leg again and literally does like 1, 2, 3 submission holds. Twist to the left, twist to the right leg, goes into the octopus, and then the sleeper, and then the right leg into a half crab. But again, he got to the ropes. And I kept thinking, Kota Ibushi, he needs to channel that inner demon in himself, that fluke steak that Chris Charlton likes to call it. And there was a glimpse of it here, but it certainly didn't manifest itself like it did in the match with Okada. In the end, though, as the match progressed, Kota Ibushi gets the better of Zack Sabre Jr. with a Pele kick out of nowhere. Beautiful delivery, as always. As Zack Sabre Jr. gets the best of him with a PK following this up, and he looks like he's going to go for a submission hold. He stops Zack Sabre Jr. at his tracks with, "Hey, y'all remember the Golden Lovers? You remember a certain bout machine?" Bang with the V trigger in Kenny Omega's favor. I thought he literally knocked out Zack Sabre Jr. where he stood. But Kota Ibushi, he wanted to make sure, once and for all, I finished this guy off. And again, Zack Sabre Jr. has gotten under Kota Ibushi's skin this entire thing. So redemption had to be coming at some point. I guess third year was the charm, as Kota Ibushi does get the win here with Kamigoye. I was wrong. I was going along with history, and I was thinking we were going to get Zack Sabre Jr. versus the Ace again. A long-standing rivalry, one of the best rivalries of last year, in my opinion, when you consider how far that went and how many matches they had. But no, I was wrong. Kota Ibushi, he advances. He has made it past Zack Sabre Jr., which I'm sure was an upset to some people in their brackets. It certainly was for me, and it was my first wrong call of the night, because I had the shingle one right, but what are you going to do? Again, the beauty of New Japan Pro Wrestling, the unpredictability. You wait for that moment, you wait for that surprise, you don't expect it, and it happens. And I like to think that this match, literally, you could have gone either way with this, 50-50. So again, I don't feel like this was much of a surprise. Now, as far as main event, let me talk to you. As it was the Holy Emperor, Taiji no Mihiwabe, versus the ace of New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Why does Tanahashi, for the third straight time you think it would learn, go for his signature stance in the corner, reaching out to us, giving us that love and energy, only to get attacked from behind before the match even begins? By the way, Dukai's out there at ringside during this. Go figure. Anyway, ridiculous start, though, as Taiji gets him off that top rope and power bombs him before the bell even rings. And then the bell finally rings, and then he literally just kicks him in the back of the head. Ouch. I think about Taiji and Kota Ibushi and their striking game. Like, Kota Ibushi is one of the toughest pure strikers I've seen in Japan Pro Wrestling. I still think Taiji is the most lethal with his kicks. And damn, did he prove it here. As the match progressed, typical Suzuki-gun faction, Taiji takes Tanahashi out to the outside and literally just brawls the hell out of him among the stands and the empty chairs. And at one point, literally takes a chair directly to the face of the Ace. Damn. Not as tough as he did, though, against Tetsuya Naito last year at New Year's Dash, but I'm just saying. Anyway, as the match progresses, or was it the previous year? Probably was the previous year now that I think about it. As the match progresses, there was a ridiculous high kick in the corner. Man, Taiji. And both men, they finally get into a subtle exchange. The Ace, you never count the Ace out. There's a reason why he's been the face of New Japan Pro Wrestling, the guy for the company, and been wrestling for 20 years. Probably hurt his entire life. Anyway, as the match continues, ridiculous Saito suplex. That suplex that Taiji delivers, man, that could be lethal on man's neck. God. Anyway, black hole slam from the Ace. You haven't seen that for quite a while. I can't recall the last time that Hiroshi Tanahashi did a black hole slam. So really, he was digging deep here. Anyway, it wasn't enough. We get a twisted south, though, all of a sudden following that. The Ace is in control for a moment of this, and then it's sling blade, and he finally pulls off the high fly flow after taking out Dukai, I might add. And literally, he hits the 5-5 flow, but it feels like his landing was awkward. I don't think he got all his body on that high fly flow because he couldn't immediately capitalize for the cover. He tries to go for it again. Dukai gets up, ref distraction, and similar shades to the match with Okada back at the new beginning. Low blow into Gato clutch. I thought he had him. I thought he freaking had him again. Near fall. The nearest fall of the night, in my opinion. As the match continues, both men exchanging ridiculous lariats. And then we get a power bomb out of nowhere, I might add. Very impressive by Taiji. Again, Taiji is one of those, you know, before Dark Saints, Black Sheeps, like Tomoyachi and Tamaki Homa, and I'm forgetting the other one's name, that really were in that dark age of New Japan Wrestling, but they did their own thing, but they never reached that top echelon. And Taiji's definitely always been there. I just feel like he has so much potential if he didn't, like, you know, hide behind the mystique of his presentation with his entrance and all these little tricks and doodads that he has. You know, he is a really great pro wrestler. I feel like he really can push himself forward towards a championship, besides the never open weight. He has been never open weight. But anyway, as the match continues, though, there was a ridiculous knockout shot by freaking Taiji. I thought he dropped the Ace where he stood. And then, of course, the Ace answered back. Both these men just laying it all out there. Another ridiculous Sato suplex out of nowhere. God, those suplexes. Oh, yeah, and then finally he pulls off an axe bomber, literally running through the Ace. And at this point, I knew the match really hasn't started yet because there's one thing we haven't seen yet, ladies and gentlemen, since Taiji's return. You know what I'm talking about. It finally happened. The pants come off! And literally following that, he sets him up for that ridiculous buzzsaw kick. Nails it. And I'm like, okay, what are you going to do now? He finally wraps him up for Black Mephisto. And ladies and gentlemen, in the biggest upset I would say so far in the New Japan Cup, and Taiji's biggest victory, most recent memory, Taiji has pinned and defeated the Ace. 1, 2, 3. Clean, I might add. And is advancing on to the next round of New Japan Cup. Now, I know what you're thinking. He had the mic stand. He had the iron glove. There was a low blow earlier. There was Dukai in the beginning. You look at the very end, though, in that ending exchange, especially when the pants came off. No distractions, no interference, no weapons came into play at all. In fact, the mic stand and the iron glove did not come into play at all during this match, despite what some people thought was going to happen that I talked with on Twitter. He did it himself, and he beat the 20-year veteran, the guy that encompasses everything about New Japan Pro Wrestling's good in love and energy and given what the fans want. He beat him fair and square, period. With that being said, though, I was bloody shocked, but also happy, but also, damn it. By the way, fun little commentary note. Milano says, Tanahashi's incredibly handsome, while Taiji says, I'm going to mess you up, ugly. Again, Japanese commentary, you don't need to understand all of it. You just need to understand some of it as far as presentation goes. And Chris Charlton helps definitely with that. I thought that was rather humorous. See, even Japanese commentary can be funny, folks. And not overkill, like another company, but I digress. Anyway, as I was trying to gather my thoughts here on what just happened, I was like, holy freaking hell. The Ace is out this early? What? I was bloody friggin' shocked. But apparently, some of my friends on Twitter that, of course, we all do our own bracket, stuff like that, they called it. So shout out to my friend S_Princessa. Please follow her. She called both these matches right. So she is going to get that match that she asked for. And people agree with me that Tiger's just been biding his time. He's been quiet, but he has the potential. And it really showed here. Now, as we were trying to, gather ourselves at the shocker of shocks so far in the New Japan Cup, Taiji, he does get the mic, and basically he says that, I'm going to win this thing, and I'm going to get the best of all of you. Because he does call out his opponent, because it will be, and I believe it's the second time ever in singles action, Kota Ibushi versus Taiji. I don't believe these two have faced each other since they were basically junior heavyweights. When I looked at my history, fake you cage match wrestling, because I believe the last time they faced each other was Best Super Juniors, was it 16 or 15? Anyway, it was the Best Super Juniors, where it was Kota Ibushi versus Taiji in a much younger, different state of age as wrestlers, especially. And in the end, Kota Ibushi won. So, with that being said, are we just setting up for history here to repeat? Or are we setting up for Taiji to really break through? It was Best Super Junior 16, by the way, 12-minute bout. But I still can't believe it. With the amount of combined time that the Ace has had in the New Japan Cup, the record that the Ace holds overall, you would think that he would be a shoo-in to at least make it through the preliminaries, as I like to call this opening round. And I thought it was going to be literally Kota Ibushi versus, I take that back. No, I thought it was going to be Zack Sabre versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. It went completely opposite with me. This night really boned me, ladies and gentlemen. But I also think about this now. The Ace has lost, but he is still tag champions with Kota Ibushi. But Bloody Dangerous Tekkas, they want those tag team titles. And I feel like that's got to be the match being set up, despite the fact that Dukai and Taiji, they got the better of Kota Ibushi after it was all said and done, and literally laid out the tag team champions like cornboard, stacked on top of each other. As we close, Chris Charlton provides translation on everything Taiji says. What are you guys? Done before we even start? You lost before we even had the match. The tag titles are a given. I'm taking the cup too, and Naito, you're done. I'm taking it all around here. I'm not him. I tore easily, but I still beat Mr. Never Tired. What is love, huh? I got you nowhere. It got you nowhere. Nobody needs it. This ugly fan should take a good look at where love got him. What were you doing the last few months? I got muscles and strength you can't hope for. Which is funny because most people think about Taiji just playing, fighter pro wrestling, which he does, and figure that, he doesn't give zero shits. But again, Taiji is a very good wrestler, and he just beat one of the top tier best in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Is it a dark cloud? Is it an omen of things to come? I'm just saying. And I was freaking impressed, bottom line. And I'm pretty sure we got a tag match at Dominion, folks. With that being said, we now know what's next for the four men that one night. It will be Kota versus Taiji, and it will be first ever singles, to my knowledge, of Sho and Sanada. So the way I see it is this. This really is becoming a New Japan Cup that I feel like it's going to be LIJ story driven, and I feel like Sanada is going to be your top guy you're going to get behind. But I look at Kota versus Taiji. If Taiji beats Kota, it pretty much demolishes right now any sort of forward momentum or high energy that the tag champs could have thinking about their tag title run, which could end as early as Dominion. I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying that's a possibility. But then I also think about, could the match be beginning? Could it be Sanada versus Kota? And those two are not strangers to each other. And both men seem very driven. But I also think about the other side of the bracket, as we have day 4 tomorrow. Are we just heading towards the right side, concluding to Eva and Sanada? Again, this cup feels very LIJ driven, but in my opinion, today was the most pinnacle day in the New Japan Cup. My good friend here at JG Pro Wrestling, he says, I think Sho is beating Sanada, and my thoughts go like this. Sho has had already the biggest win in his career. Beating Sanada, I feel, would be a very unique change in the New Japan Cup, especially because I would destroy my bracket and I would be terminated, probably terminate most people. But I just don't see Sho winning the New Japan Cup in his debut. I feel like he had his moment. I feel like that's as far as he's going to go. So I'm going to say right now, I think Sanada is going to beat Sho. But it's going to be a very interesting match considering Sanada is much more slow paced and calm and cool. And Sho, he's much more, high voltage, high energy, very sporadic. We'll have to see what happens. In the meantime, my good friend at DEJ Kirby, Maxwell Pros. Please follow her podcast and blog. She absolutely agrees about Taiji about he's been quietly just putting on very good matches, consistent basis. Why he's not likely to be a fixture in the main title scene. You can see him push for the U.S. or IC title. The funny thing is, though, with the IC title, if you're contending for the IC title, you would be contending for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship as well. I feel like that's just going to be a short stint. I feel like that's really going to break away sooner than later. I really wonder if Naito really wants to keep holding on to the Intercontinental and the Heavyweight titles. I really wonder how long this double gold stint's going to go, to be honest with you. I don't see it going as far as Wrestle Kingdom, I gotta be honest. Because each of those titles have their own identity to begin with. And I feel like it's better for both this way. Anyway, my good friend Sandy, as I told you all earlier, she actually has Ibushi and Sonata in the quarters. Taiji will be taken out in the second round. Once more, have Sonata going all the way. Again, Ibushi and Sonata, it seems like a very, very fan-driven match that people can get behind and really be hard to call, too. But again, I feel like right now, regardless where you go, I feel like this quadrant of the New Japan Cup, it has to go to Sonata. That's just my opinion. Anyway, my good friend Luke Dorsch at Lukovich086, he also talked about how Taiji's been like a sleeper, but he's put up some incredible matches. He talks about the G1 match he had Tomohiro and Ishii, which I feel like is a really true first stepping stone in Taiji really trying to break out beyond what he is. Because Ishimori tried to push that out of him, like, you don't need all this gimmick crap, don't need the mic or the glove. And again, these two that just bitterly fought each other. Again, I feel like Tomohiro Ishii brings out the best and worst in everybody. Also, the match with Okada, Taiji was this close from winning, folks, okay? I feel it's inevitable that maybe Taiji could beat Okada, and that truly will be the biggest stepping stone in New Japan Pro Wrestling's history, I feel like, for Taiji. That's got to be like an endgame coming up, because I don't feel like Taiji's done with Okada or Naito. But based on what we saw tonight, bottom line is this. We got an IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team title match coming up, and it's going to be Bloody Dangerous Techers versus Golden Ace. That's the bottom line with that. And I can't wait to see that, and I can't wait for Dominion. But we also got tomorrow to get through, and 4 more matches to come. So that's all I have to say for now on what has truly been the most pinnacle day for everyone's brackets. And apologies for all your brackets that have been busted because your favorite's out. Sorry. With that being said, I'm done here for now on this. Just rambling on, simple chat, simple takes, simple discussion, simple aftermath thoughts. Because this night, I went 2-2. Not great. And it really surprised me. Once again, they were not kidding when they said this is the most unpredictable New Japan Cup to date. Sleepers, shockers, and who knows what other surprises and classics await. Only time will tell. We got 4 more matches, the last of the opening matches tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. So stay tuned for a simple take on that. With that, I'm done for now. If you want to know more about me, know this. I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of wrestling. Follow me on Twitter, AdamFoster1916, AdamFoster1916 on Instagram. You're watching this simple YouTube channel here at youtube.com/user/NoahFoster210. It's all things wrestling, and shout out to my family ATW on Twitter. You know who you are. And again, I give you reviews, I give you discussions, I give you predictions, and all that and more. And my series, AEW Spark, giving you my preview and discussions of all things All Elite Wrestling, sometimes with you, the faithful, fun, maybe first-time viewer. Thank you, by the way, to everybody that's been with me on this creator's journey, all 148 of you. It's been fun. I'll continue bringing you my simple coverage and just honest thoughts on wrestling. With that being said, support independent wrestling, speak out, support one another. Let's bring up each other. Let's build a better, greater wrestling community together. Simple as that. I could go into a rant about everything that's been conspiring lately in the wrestling community, but I don't feel like right now that's needed because the voices and the stories itself speaks for itself. Change needs to occur, and we must enforce it now more than ever and push it. But the only way that stuff's going to happen is through actions, not just through social media. So be aware, listen, and hear, and try and convey a positive environment in what really has been exposed as a toxic wrestling community. Sad to say. Anyway, that's all I have to say. So again, please take care, enjoy life. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Treasure your families, enjoy wrestling, make wrestling better for you and for others. And until the next video, like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. I thank you all, and I hope you all have a wonderful day as it's 11:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday, June 22nd. Take it easy. Be positive. Don't let the world of the internet get to you. Gokigenyo. Sayonara.